Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you're there? Or struggled to recall someone's name even though it's on the tip of your tongue? We've all experienced moments like this. It's normal. But what if these lapses weren't just occasional forgetfulness? What if they were warning signs of something much more serious, like dementia? Here's a startling fact. Over 55 million people worldwide are living with dementia, and many had subtle symptoms years before they were diagnosed. Dementia isn't just about aging, it's about recognizing the signs early enough to make a difference. Today, we'll explore the early warning signs most people miss, and the classic symptoms that point to something more serious. Stick around, it could be the most important thing you learn for yourself or a loved one. Understanding dementia. Dementia isn't a single disease, it's a group of symptoms that affect how the brain functions, impacting memory, reasoning, language, and behavior. Think of it like this: our brains are incredibly complex networks of nerve cells. When those cells become damaged or die, it disrupts how the brain communicates, leading to the symptoms we associate with dementia. Now, let's clear up a common misunderstanding. Dementia is not a normal part of aging. Sure, as we get older, it's natural to occasionally forget where we put our keys. But dementia goes far beyond everyday forgetfulness. It's a sign that something deeper is going on. It's also important to know that dementia has many causes, like Alzheimer's disease, vascular issues, or even conditions that are reversible, such as vitamin deficiencies. Understanding these basics can help us spot the difference between normal aging and something more serious, and that knowledge can be life-changing. Types of dementia. Dementia isn't one size fits all. It comes in different forms, each with unique characteristics. The most common type is Alzheimer's disease, which typically starts with memory loss and can lead to changes in behavior and confusion. Then there's vascular dementia, often linked to strokes or reduced blood flow to the brain. It can affect thinking skills and decision-making. Another form is Lewy body dementia, which stands out with its unpredictable cognitive changes, visual hallucinations, and symptoms similar to Parkinson's, like tremors. Finally, there's frontotemporal dementia, which primarily impacts behavior, personality, and language. It's more common in younger adults compared to other types. Understanding the type of dementia is crucial because it guides treatment and care. While there's no cure, tailored approaches can improve quality of life and slow progression. Knowing the type gives families and caregivers a clearer roadmap to navigate this challenging journey. 9 early signs of dementia. Number 1, struggling with words. One of the earliest signs of dementia is difficulty finding the right words during a conversation. We all pause occasionally to gather our thoughts, but this goes beyond that. A person might substitute words, calling a watch a hand clock or struggling to complete a sentence altogether. These lapses become frequent and noticeable, making everyday conversations challenging and frustrating for both the individual and those around them. It's not just forgetfulness, it's a sign that the brain's ability to access language is being disrupted. Paying attention to these patterns can be an important step in identifying dementia early. Number 2, sensory changes. Dementia doesn't just affect memory, it can also impact your senses. Vision changes might make judging distances or recognizing faces difficult, even in familiar settings. Hearing challenges could lead to misinterpreting sounds, while a diminished sense of smell or taste may cause food to seem bland or unusual. These sensory changes often go unnoticed because they're subtle at first, but they can affect daily life in surprising ways, like trouble reading, navigating spaces, or enjoying meals. Pay attention to these shifts, especially if they're paired with other symptoms, as they can provide early clues to an underlying problem. Number 3, lack of motivation. A noticeable loss of motivation can be an early sign of dementia. Someone may withdraw from hobbies or activities they once loved, like gardening, socializing, or even watching favorite shows. This isn't just occasional boredom, it's a deeper disinterest, often coupled with apathy. It's important to distinguish this from depression. While depression usually comes with sadness or feelings of hopelessness, dementia-related apathy tends to lack emotional distress. The person simply doesn't feel driven to engage. If you notice this change in yourself or a loved one, especially alongside other symptoms, it's worth seeking medical advice for further evaluation. Number 4, muscle weakness. Surprisingly, muscle weakness can be an early indicator of dementia. The brain controls every movement, and when certain areas are affected, it can disrupt motor skills. Simple tasks like buttoning a shirt, tying shoelaces, or holding utensils may suddenly feel challenging or clumsy. This isn't just about losing physical strength, it's a disconnect between the brain and the body. Over time, this can impact balance and coordination, increasing the risk of falls. If these difficulties arise without a clear physical cause, they could be an early sign of dementia, highlighting how deeply brain function is tied to everyday movement. Number 5, spatial disorientation. Getting lost in familiar places is a classic early sign of dementia. Someone might suddenly forget the route to a grocery store they've visited for years or struggle to navigate their own neighborhood. This isn't just forgetfulness, it's a disruption in spatial awareness and memory. Over time, this disorientation can make even short trips feel overwhelming and unsafe, leading to a loss of independence. It's particularly concerning when combined with other symptoms, as it can signal changes in the brain's ability to process surroundings. Recognizing these moments early can help ensure safety and prompt necessary medical evaluation. Number 6, sleep problems. Sleep disturbances are often an early sign of dementia. Changes in sleep patterns, like waking up frequently at night, struggling to fall asleep, or sleeping during the day, are common. Some individuals may experience sundowning, where confusion, agitation, or restlessness intensify in the evening or nighttime hours. These disruptions can impact overall health, mood, and memory, making day-to-day life more challenging. While occasional poor sleep is normal, persistent and unusual changes in sleep behavior, especially when paired with other symptoms, could indicate early dementia. Recognizing and addressing these signs early can improve quality of life and support overall brain health. Number 7, postural changes. Dementia can sometimes reveal itself through subtle physical changes, like a hunched posture or a shuffling gait. These changes aren't just about aging, they're often linked to how the brain controls movement and balance. Over time, these postural shifts can lead to a slower walking pace, shorter steps, or difficulty standing upright. This impacts mobility and significantly increases the risk of falls, which can further complicate health. If these changes appear suddenly or progressively worsen, it's important to consider them as potential early indicators of dementia and seek medical advice for a thorough evaluation. Number 8, difficulty with simple tasks. One of the early signs of dementia is struggling with everyday tasks that were once second nature. Activities like cooking a familiar recipe, balancing a checkbook, or paying bills may suddenly feel confusing or overwhelming. For example, someone might forget steps in a recipe they've made countless times or mix up basic financial details. This isn't just a momentary lapse in focus, it's a sign that the brain is having trouble organizing, processing, or remembering information. When this difficulty becomes frequent or noticeable, especially in routine tasks, it's a good idea to seek professional guidance for further evaluation. Number 9, apathy. Apathy, or a lack of interest in activities and interactions, is a common early sign of dementia. You might notice someone withdrawing from conversations, avoiding social gatherings, or losing enthusiasm for things they once enjoyed. Unlike clinical depression, which often comes with feelings of sadness or hopelessness, apathy in dementia is marked by an emotional flatness. There's simply no desire to engage. This change can be subtle at first, but becomes more apparent over time. If apathy appears alongside other cognitive or behavioral changes, it's worth consulting a healthcare professional for a closer look. 13 classic symptoms of dementia. 1. Disorientation in time and space. One of the hallmark signs of dementia is disorientation in time and space. A person might forget what day, month, or even year it is, or they may become confused about where they are, even in familiar places. For instance, they might ask repeatedly, "Where am I?" or struggle to understand why they're at a specific location. This confusion can also extend to forgetting how they got there or not recognizing once familiar surroundings. Such episodes can be unsettling and often lead to a loss of independence, making early recognition critical for safety and support. 2. Difficulty planning or solving problems. People with dementia often struggle with planning and solving problems, making everyday tasks increasingly difficult. For example, organizing a grocery list, following a recipe, or keeping track of monthly bills can become overwhelming. They might miss payment deadlines, make calculation errors, or find multi-step processes confusing. This isn't just occasional forgetfulness, it's a persistent challenge in managing tasks that require focus and logical thinking. These difficulties can interfere with daily life and signal a deeper cognitive issue. Early recognition is essential, as it allows for timely interventions and support. 3. Misplacing objects. Misplacing objects in unusual or illogical places is a common sign of dementia. For instance, someone might put their car keys in the refrigerator or store a wallet in the bathroom cabinet. These aren't just moments of absent-mindedness, they reflect deeper memory and organizational challenges. What's more, they may struggle to retrace their steps to locate the misplaced items, leading to frustration or even accusations that others have taken them. Recognizing this pattern can help identify dementia early, as it's a clear signal of changes in how the brain processes and recalls everyday actions. 4. Mood or behavior changes. Dementia often brings noticeable mood and behavior changes. A person might experience sudden emotional swings, going from calm to upset without clear reason. They may also become more irritable, anxious, or easily frustrated, especially in unfamiliar situations. Social withdrawal is another common symptom. They might avoid family gatherings, lose interest in hobbies, or disengage from conversations. These changes can stem from confusion, frustration, or even an inability to process emotions as they once did. While occasional mood shifts are normal, persistent and uncharacteristic changes can signal dementia, making early attention and support crucial. 5. Incontinence. Incontinence, or the loss of control over bladder and bowel functions, is a common symptom of dementia, particularly in its later stages. It often starts subtly, with occasional accidents or a need for frequent bathroom trips, but can progress to more consistent issues. This occurs because dementia can affect the brain's ability to recognize the need to use the restroom or control the muscles involved. Incontinence can be embarrassing and distressing for both the individual and their caregivers. Recognizing this as part of dementia can help ensure proper care, support, and strategies to manage the condition with dignity. 6. Hallucinations. Hallucinations, a less common but significant symptom of dementia, involve perceiving things that aren't really there. These can be visual, such as seeing people, animals, objects, or auditory, like hearing voices or sounds that don't exist. For example, someone might insist they see strangers in their home or hear music playing when the room is silent. These experiences can be vivid and unsettling, sometimes leading to confusion or fear. Hallucinations are more common in certain types of dementia, such as Lewy body dementia, and understanding their occurrence can guide caregivers in providing reassurance and appropriate medical support. 7. Short-term memory loss. Short-term memory loss is one of the most recognizable symptoms of dementia. A person may forget conversations they just had, misplace items repeatedly, or ask the same questions multiple times, unaware they've already received an answer. For instance, they might forget what they ate for breakfast or struggle to recall details of a recent outing. While long-term memories often remain intact in the early stages, these frequent lapses in short-term memory can disrupt daily life and cause frustration for both the individual and those around them. Recognizing these patterns is key to seeking timely evaluation and support. 8. Social isolation. Social isolation is a common symptom of dementia, often marked by a withdrawal from interactions and activities. Someone may avoid family gatherings, skip social events, or stop engaging with friends. This avoidance can stem from embarrassment over memory lapses, difficulty following conversations, or confusion in social settings. They might also lose interest in hobbies or routines that once brought them joy. Over time, this isolation can lead to loneliness and further cognitive decline. Recognizing this behavior as a symptom, rather than mere shyness or moodiness, is crucial for offering the right support and intervention. 9. Inappropriate behavior. Inappropriate behavior is a common symptom of dementia, often stemming from changes in the brain that affect judgment and impulse control. A person may display disinhibition, saying or doing things that seem socially improper or out of character. For instance, they might make blunt or offensive remarks, touch someone inappropriately, or laugh in serious situations. Aggression can also emerge, manifesting as irritability or angry outbursts without clear provocation. These behaviors aren't intentional, but rather a reflection of the brain's declining ability to regulate actions and emotions. Understanding this can help caregivers respond with patience and empathy while seeking appropriate care. 10. Repeating questions. Repeating questions is a common symptom of dementia, often caused by short-term memory problems. A person might ask the same question several times in a short period, such as, "What time is dinner?" or "Where are we going today?" even after receiving an answer. This happens because the brain struggles to retain new information, so they genuinely don't remember asking. While this can be frustrating for caregivers, it's important to approach these moments with patience and understanding. Repetition isn't intentional, it's a sign that the individual needs support and reassurance as they navigate their memory challenges. 11. Difficulty following conversations. A person with dementia may struggle to follow and participate in conversations, which is a common symptom of cognitive decline. They might lose track of what was just said, forget key details, or have trouble understanding the flow of the discussion. For example, they could respond inappropriately or ask for something to be repeated several times. These difficulties make it harder to contribute meaningfully, leading to frustration or withdrawal from social interactions altogether. This isn't just occasional distraction, it reflects deeper issues with memory and comprehension. Recognizing this symptom early can help provide the right support and interventions. 12. Loss of time awareness. Loss of time awareness is a frequent symptom of dementia. A person might forget what day, month, or year it is, struggle to keep track of appointments, or even believe they're living in a different time period. For example, they may think a past event happened recently or confuse morning with evening. This distortion of time can make planning and daily routines challenging, often leading to confusion or missed commitments. While occasional forgetfulness is normal, Persistent difficulty with time awareness is a clear signal of cognitive decline and warrants professional evaluation. 13. Difficulty making decisions. Dementia often makes decision-making challenging, even for straightforward choices. Someone might struggle with simple decisions, like picking an outfit or choosing what to eat, or feel overwhelmed by more complex choices, such as managing finances or planning daily activities. This happens because dementia affects critical thinking and judgment, making it hard to weigh options or foresee outcomes. For instance, they might take an unusually long time deciding or make choices that seem irrational or out of character. Recognizing this difficulty can help loved ones provide guidance and ensure the person receives the support they need. Causes of dementia. Dementia arises from various conditions that damage brain cells and their connections, with Alzheimer's disease being the most common cause. In Alzheimer's, abnormal protein accumulations, like plaques and tangles, disrupt brain function. Vascular dementia results from reduced blood flow to the brain, often caused by strokes or other cardiovascular issues. Other causes include protein deposits associated with Lewy body dementia or damage to specific brain regions seen in frontotemporal dementia. Risk factors play a significant role. Age is the greatest risk factor, with dementia becoming more common after 65. Family history can increase susceptibility, but lifestyle choices are crucial too. Factors like poor diet, lack of exercise, smoking, and conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes elevate risk. While some causes are beyond control, adopting a heart-healthy lifestyle can lower the likelihood of developing dementia, emphasizing the importance of prevention and early intervention. Prevention strategies for dementia. Preventing dementia is about protecting your brain and overall health. Here's how. Control diabetes. High blood sugar can damage blood vessels, including those in the brain. Managing diabetes with a healthy diet, exercise, and medications reduces this risk. Quit smoking. Smoking restricts blood flow to the brain and increases the risk of vascular damage. Quitting improves brain health and reduces dementia risk. Manage stress. Chronic stress can harm memory and cognition. Techniques like meditation, deep breathing, or yoga help protect brain health. Challenge your brain. Keep your mind sharp with puzzles, learning new skills, or playing memory games. Mental stimulation strengthens neural connections. Physical activity. Regular exercise, like walking or strength training, boosts blood flow to the brain and supports overall health. Aim for at least 150 minutes a week. Stay socially active. Connecting with others reduces loneliness and supports cognitive health. Join groups, volunteer, or maintain close relationships. Improve sleep. Poor sleep increases dementia risk. Stick to a routine, limit screens before bed, and create a calming sleep environment. Weight management. Obesity contributes to conditions like high blood pressure and diabetes, which are linked to dementia. Maintaining a healthy weight can protect your brain. These strategies don't just lower dementia risk, they enhance your overall quality of life. Start today. New developments in dementia treatment. Recent advancements in dementia research are bringing new hope for patients and families. Immunotherapy is a promising area of focus. It uses the body's immune system to target harmful brain proteins like amyloid plaques, which are linked to Alzheimer's disease. For instance, lecanemab, an anti-amyloid antibody, has shown significant promise in slowing cognitive decline and recently received FDA approval. Gene therapy is another breakthrough in progress. By modifying or replacing faulty genes, this approach aims to tackle the genetic factors behind dementia. Though still in early stages, it holds exciting potential for future treatments. In addition, clinical trials are actively testing innovative drugs and therapies. For example, the National Institute on Aging is supporting hundreds of trials exploring various treatment angles for Alzheimer's and other dementias. These developments are vital steps toward effective treatments, providing hope for improved outcomes and quality of life for those affected by dementia. Dementia is a challenging journey, but understanding its early signs, types, causes, and prevention strategies can make a significant difference. Early detection, managing risk factors like diabetes and smoking, staying socially and physically active, and supporting brain health are key steps to reducing its impact. Research advancements, such as immunotherapy and gene therapy, are paving the way for innovative treatments, offering hope to millions. If you or a loved one notice early signs, seek medical advice. It's never too soon to act. Adopt lifestyle changes to protect your brain and support organizations driving dementia research. The future holds promise. With ongoing discoveries and growing awareness, we are closer than ever to breakthroughs that can improve lives and offer optimism for those affected by dementia and their families. Together, we can build a brighter future.